you saying, guys? Made in Chafford. I think it's episode 36.
Oh, you love to see it.
How you doing, fellas? What's going on?
Good, good. Just keeping busy again, really. Not much else has changed since the last time we met.
Hear that still. Hear that still. But yeah, we got a special guest this week. I've wanted this guest on for a while, but like the fact that this has happened to me is it's a big feat because, in my opinion, this guy has done so much for podcasting in the UK and even kind of influenced the way I podcast and the inception of our podcast. So, and he's doing a lot of stuff outside of podcasting as well with his own alcohol company. Sebby's in the building. What are you saying, bro?
You sound, bro, man. Thank you again. I appreciate you guys for having me on. Like, I really appreciate it, man. You know, I always love to see like new podcasts and stuff like that. And as you said, you know, we're supposed to do something, but then Corona hit. But then for me, like, I actually like this Zoom thing. So like when people ask me to appear on podcasts on Zoom, it's great for me because I can multitask. Do you know what I mean? I haven't got to take like a few hours out of the day to go somewhere and then record and da. I could just do it at home. So it's perfect. And yeah, man, I thank you. I really appreciate you guys for having me on.
No worries, bro. That's mad though, because obviously when you think about it, what you do, obviously I'll let you talk about it more in detail, but what you do entails you to kind of be on the job all the time, innit? So
yeah.
You lose the human interaction of like podcasting that we kind of like, you know, the quick banter and you know, back and forth, but at the same time it's a positive for you because you can obviously do other shit. So never really think about that type of stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because for example, like, so like the other day I went for a run. Well, this probably might have been 2 weeks ago. And I left my other phone at home because I only carry one phone, the one that I listen to music on. And then I left the other phone at home and the delivery driver called me and I missed it. And then that like kind of impacted something because he was supposed to pick up something to deliver to the warehouse, which made it a day late, which made that, do you know what I mean? I couldn't do something. So like, that's why now I even then, like more so, I'm always conscious of time. I'm always trying to go for runs like earlier. But the reason why I may not go for a run earlier because I might be doing orders or I might be doing something else, and then I'll try to fit the run after, and then it'll be a knock-on effect. So like for me, I'm always conscious of time. Do you know what I mean? When I look at like, I'm always structured. That's why I absolutely hate people being late because I'm just like, fam, I'm never gonna get this time back. Like, like I'm never ever gonna get this time back that I've been waiting here. Like, so that's why I'm always rattled. But I always have to be conscious about time and you know taking that time and because I always got to be on my phone and respond to emails and stuff like that. So yeah,
I heard that, bro.
Gotta keep busy, and then all about is in balancing all of that as well. Sure, because or do you thrive in that environment?
Yo, Demi.
Sorry, bro. Can you say that again? It was cutting out a little bit.
Demi.
Yo, Demi, if you can hear me, try switch it to 4G or Wi-Fi, bro. If you're using something opposite.
I think he was talking about like in this current moment, people are trying to thrive. It's very hard for an individual to thrive. Is that what you were saying, Demi? Yeah,
just how do you keep on top of it all? Because it can get on top of you. So how do you embrace it? Do you just thrive in those scenarios?
Yeah, like for me, it's one of those things, where. You know, a famous quote that I've always heard is like entrepreneurship is just about being a firefighter. So you're constantly putting out fires, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those things where the reason why I go for runs is not so for fitness. It's more so that's the only time in the day where I'm completely mindless. Do you know what I mean? And I mean that in terms of I don't think about anything. Or if I do think about something, it's never in like a negative way. It's more so, okay, what's the solution to this? How am I going to do this? And I think about all of these things while I'm running. And for me, that really helps. Do you know what I mean? So that enables me to kind of take things in my stride and do whatever. Like, I can't lie that quite earlier on into the journey, when I realized, okay, cool, Like I've got an actual business here, yeah, and what started to happen, yeah, is you get more people asking things from you. So, i.e., oh, when do you do this? When do you do? You're the first point of call, basically, for everything, innit? More so because I'm the one in the business that's more out there. So I'm the first point of call for everything. And in that one time, it was like, rah, like this is actually getting too much. Like I felt like, like not even like too much, but I just felt like, rah, like everybody is just like asking me for shit. I'm thinking like, rah, like I need to find a way to kind of take a lot of emotion out of this whole situation. So when I mean asking me for things, I'll be like, like someone be like, all right, cool. It's like sponsorship and things like that. And I'm just like, it's like a whole process regarding things like that. It's not as easy as, just sponsor it and whatever, because like like alcohol is so tightly regulated. It's just not as easy as sponsorship and flinging out a few bottles and whatever, especially as a startup brand, innit? So like I'd say initially I've just had to learn that, cool, you're going to be the point of call. And now it's just like, all right, cool, whatever. Like now everything's within my stride, innit? So I take everything on, and I don't really feel, I'm not offended, or I'm not like, I don't feel like it's too much or whatever. But initially when I first started, it was just like, yeah, like fucking hell, like everybody just asking for bare shit, bare random shit. And I was like, fam, like let me get set up first, because it's a startup for a reason. We are not a full-fledged, like we're not Ciroc, innit? We're not Hennessy or whatever, like one of those companies that are, up and running and they've got their, marketing budget and whatever. We're a startup, and I just feel like people weren't respecting that initially. And I'm somebody that I always empathize, so I understand why you're asking me, because I may have done the same. So do you know what I mean? I understand. But when it's like 100 people, it does grate on you a bit.
Yeah, that sounds excessive. But do you think, touching on that stuff, like as far as being an entrepreneur, yeah, I remember that. Do you remember that Dame Dash interview time ago on the Breakfast Club? He was talking about being your own boss. Yeah. Like sometimes it makes me think, because people who are entrepreneurial like yourself, like, do you think, because his message, in my opinion, yeah, I feel like the way he said it was the delivery that was wrong.
Facts.
Like I understand what he was trying to say, but the way he said it was a bit mad. But do you feel like it's a personality trait? Like, do you feel like it's not necessarily something anybody can just run up and do?
I feel like everybody has a little bit of entrepreneurial spirit in them. I feel like it's just the way how you want to attack whatever market you're trying to be in or dominate or whatever. And it just depends what position you want to be in that market. So, for example, the lady that makes jollof rice for the hall party is an entrepreneur. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So, but her stress is maybe different from mine. So I don't think it's a mindset. I think it's an industry thing. So it just depends on what industry you want to get into. So I feel like there's definitely an entrepreneur in everybody. However, I don't think being an entrepreneur is for everybody. Do you know what I mean? So I like, if I could sit down in a 9-to-5 and enjoy it, and just be cool or whatever, or be in an industry that I really liked, and it was just me, then I'll do that. Being an entrepreneur is hard. It's not roses and that. It's not hard. Like, you have more bad days than good days, and the days that are good, you don't get too happy because there's a bad day coming. So I definitely, and the thing is, like, it's one of those ones where, like, I would always laugh when people saying, like when I see tweets of people saying, like, I'm on my own boss and all of this. I'm like, fam, thank God what industry you're in is that nice that you can let off tweets like that. Fam, 99% of entrepreneurs are stressing every day, waking up at 4 a.m. Very early on in this journey. I used to wake up at like 3 a.m. and just write down ideas and couldn't get back to sleep. And that was a regular thing of waking up at 3, waking up at 4, thinking about problems, trying to attack that problem at 4 a.m. in the morning when you can't solve anything at 4 a.m., but you're still trying to attack it at 4 a.m. because you're just like, fam, this is what you need to do. And that's definitely not like, it's not conducive to your current business or whatever you're trying to do, and also your personal life. You know what I mean? Like, I got my girlfriend laying next to me and I'm waking up at 4 on a notepad. I'm trying to say, like, it's a bit weird, and you're waking her up, and do you know what I mean? So it's just one of those things, man. I definitely feel like if you have the chance to try it, then try it. But if it doesn't work, don't be disheartened. You know what I mean? Getting a job isn't the worst thing in the world, especially if you're in an industry that you enjoy. I just feel like, for me, I just wouldn't have enjoyed it. So that's why I decided to go on my journey. And plus, I found something that I really, really loved. Do you know what I mean?
I heard that, bro. Sure, it's a beautiful thing, though.
For real, I guess.
So why? Well, for the people who don't know, he owns a alcohol company. Why alcohol? Like, what was the thought process to choose alcohol?
So for me, like, it's like, all right, so how the story kind of goes is, me and my girlfriend, we collect alcohol. So one of the things is, we thought, okay, we're going to collect alcohol from around the world, and when we move out, we will have a bar of alcohol from all around the world. So we're just going to have a sick bar. And she brought back a rum from Panama, and it was a rum called a Abuelo, and I loved this rum. And it was like the first time I had a rum outside of, you know, the other names like Captain Morgan and whatever, that, you know, there was actually depth to this category. So, you know, what I did is so coincidentally we had a trip to Barbados booked the following June, and she also bought me a rum tasting, and that's where I kind of learned more about the history of rum, how it's kind of like tied to kind of like black people, how they used to, you know, trade slaves, and they used to trade rum, they used to trade sugar, and just how that kind of was built. I was like, rah, like, when I go to, you know, rum festivals or rum events or whatever, I don't really see no representation here. The only people I see is the workers. So you might have the person on the bar who's serving the drinks, but he don't own the company, and he'll be black, but he doesn't own the company. So for me, that was just an issue. Like, that was definitely an issue. I thought, like, we need more representation. And another thing I thought, right, we need a more premium rum where, you know, the category isn't looked down on, because when you look at other brands, they kind of rubbish the category, and people don't really look at rum as a premium drink, more so, like, unless you get into the more aged things. But what we wanted to do is, from the outset, we got a spice rum, and we wanted to make it premium, make it look as nice as possible, you know, for people like us, for the young people, like, you can give to gifts and stuff like that. So you can give as gifts and stuff like that. So yeah, man. So that's why we kind of got into it, and yeah, it's just been a good journey.
No, you've done such a great job, and it is that thing. It does look professional. It's sleek. Like, it's a lot of these things is the packaging and how it looks before you even drink it. You know, it's the prestige that you see that comes with other brands. But what you guys have done is great, and it's interesting you touched on that and elaborated on how important it was to you that the packaging and everything looked elite.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because for me, my thing was like, all right, if you're gonna do it, then do it properly. Like, don't just like do it half-heartedly. Like, because I can easily have got like a normal bottle that every other rum company has, and I probably would have still got similar support. But for me, I'm just like, regardless of the support, I'm gonna bring out something that really looks nice, that was done professionally, and then that people won't even believe that like somebody from Ends done this. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I think that's the most important. That's the most important aspect of it, in my opinion, because like, I grew up in the same area you're from, and obviously, like, hearing all of the stories about, you know, what happens to people. There's been some successful people from Newham, but you know, when we grew up, no one said to you, "Oh yeah, Sebby, you could be, you know, you can have your own alcohol company." Do you know what I'm saying? So that's probably one of the few things that made me, you know, gravitate to the process of your rum most.
And also, it's not a, if there was such a thing as stereotypes, it's not a industry that black people would go into, like majority of black people. So it's very interesting that you are going into this, and it's definitely, you are being a pioneer in this industry as well.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. My thing is like, regardless of what happens with me and my brand or whatever, like, eventually I'll kickstart something Do you know what I mean? And that's one thing that's been important to me, is always trying to kickstart something and always try to get, you know, the representation, you know, in whatever industry, because it's needed. You know, you think about rum, you think, fam, they were trading slaves for this. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man, like it was birthed in Barbados. The sugarcane was from Africa. Do you know what I mean? The first people that actually found it were African slaves. They didn't even know where they were at that time. You think about all of the history, and then you think about all of these, you know, rum brands and how they even stumbled on rum. It's like, oh, you'll meet like a startup rum brand, and it'll be like, oh, me and my wife were in fucking this, and then you thought, oh, let's just start a brand or whatever. There's no connection, there's no history.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean, with them? But it's fine. Do you know what I mean? I feel like there's space for everybody. However, I feel like, you know, I've got a genuine connection with the brand. I love the brand, and I feel like, you know, it's about time that there was more representation in the spirits industry, because a lot of spirits are targeted towards black people, but not owned by black people.
Facts.
Like, they will target where you go, they'll target who you listen to, and they will target all of these things for marketing on social media, post bare diverse pics and stuff like that. But when you look at the people upstairs making the decisions, they're not diverse. Do you know what I mean? They're not black people. That there's one black person maybe just for the sake of it, but really and truly, you don't really own nothing in a company and stuff like that. So for me, my thing was just like, right, like, okay, cool. Like, let's actually, you know, let's make our presence felt in this industry. Let's do something that, you know, it's gonna be remembered for a long time.
It's that Jay-Z bar, isn't it? It's the one of Family Feud where it's like about Belvedere.
Yeah. I love that bar, man, because for me, like, I was listening to that album yesterday, funny enough, but for me, it's just more so, it's deeper than that. Like, it's, all right, cool, Diddy doesn't own Ciroc, but the percentage of what he gets from Ciroc is enough to support. Like, according to reports, he gets 50% of all profits. That's a sweet deal. That's an amazing deal. So for me, I'm happy to support that. I'm happy to support a guy in his ventures. And for me, I'm just like, raw. Like, when you look at it and you look at like how, you know, the alcohol industry is kind of set up and stuff like that, you have to support. You know, somebody that looks like you, or somebody that's trying to do something for the betterment of people that you. And it's not just, for me, it's not just for black people. It's like, not a rum just for black people. But what I want to do is get more black people in rum. Do you know what I mean? Or more black people in the spirits industry. Like, for us, it's just more so like making our presence felt, getting people into this industry. And yeah, just like, if you really love it, like, I'll take time when people email me and ask certain things, as long as it's not too intrusive. I'll always take the time to get on the phone to, you know, people that are trying to get into beverages or whatever, and I'll sit with them for however long and just say, all right, cool, these are my experiences, this is how you navigate this, maybe you should do this, this is my advice. And I'll do that just normal, free of charge. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Just because I want to help. So yeah, those are things that I do.
We definitely need more of that. I love that energy, because there's so many things that we influence and you don't even think about. Like, for example, we look at what happened with Cristal in the 90s. All the rappers were bigging it up, saying it in their songs, and then they come out and we're like, we don't really want to be associated with hip hop, and we know what that means. They don't want to be associated with people that look like us. So to hear that, that's your motive, that's part of the reason behind your motivation, because we influence so much, you know, things like Hennessy is associated with people that look like us.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Henny Palooza, innit? They had the same thing you were just saying. They didn't get the dealership in the end, so they went to Duce. So you know what I'm saying? Keep it in the whole shop.
It is that. So you have to. We need brands that are created by people that want to benefit us.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. Like, Hennessy's like, when I look at their company, the model, because LVMH, so Louis Vuitton, Hennessy, Moet, they're the holding company. When I look at that whole company as a whole, that's something I aspire to be something like that. You know, if I can get to a fraction of that, then I know I've done well. You know what I mean? And, you know, even like, you know, what they're doing, I definitely think it's super, super sick. But for me, I just like, fam, like, where is arting? Like, where's arting? And like, again, as I said, it's not like, the rum is for people who love rum and, you know, whatever, they fuck with us, whatever. but it's more so just like, cool, like who's making the decisions? Like who's the guy like at the top? Does he really care about man, or is this just marketing? Do you know what I mean? Like that's one of the things that's always been important for me. It's just like, fam, does this brand actually care about man, or is it just marketing? Do you know what I mean? Like, because I'm happy to withdraw my support if it's just marketing.
Mm.
I hear that. That's a good.
No, that's really good.
I really appreciate that, man. Because like honestly, it's funny because to be honest, before I actually bought your rum, I never really was a rum man. I'll be honest with you. I used to either drink JD or flipping, Demi. Me and my JDs, we go all the way back.
For real,
But,
JD and Coke.
Exactly. But I remember, so I think I finished my accounting exams last year, and I think it was maybe towards November-ish, and I remember you were launching, so I was like, alright, cool. Let me grab this bottle. Get back to my yard with my girlfriend, and we were like, alright, how am I actually supposed to drink this? Because I don't drink rum. So she was like, I was gassed after my last exam. So like, oh yeah, bang a shot. So I was like, alright, cool. Had a shot of it. I was just like, right, this is
strong. Yeah,
this is strong, bro.
Yeah.
So I tried to just mix up, get different stuff with it.
Yeah.
But what I'm seeing from you guys, obviously now, is you're gonna try and put out like different like cocktails and ways to make the rum actually, how it's supposed to be tasted. What is the best way to have Las Olas rum?
So for me, like even like what we say on the website on the bottle, it's kind of like we want people to find the best mix for them. So for me, I was like, cool, like what I like is going to be different from what you like or what you like or what you like. It's literally everybody has their own mix. So we don't really recommend things. We more so just say, all right, cool, I like this or whatever. However, in the next couple of weeks, what we want to do is we're going to partner up with a couple mixer companies. And what we're going to do is in our refill packs, we're going to give you some mixers and some menus in there. So, you can kind of experiment with a few things and then find a mix authentic to you. Because rum, for me, I've tasted hundreds of rums and all of them taste different. Do you know what I mean? There's some rums that are doing super well and I hate the taste. I absolutely hate the taste. So rum is like, one rum isn't for everybody, and if it's for everybody, it means there was no craftsmanship. It's just full of pure sugar. So I'm trying to say, so that's basically what it means. Like, because you can have a bland rum full of sugar and everybody will just buy it, and that's what it's meant to be. It's meant to be volume based. For us, we're just like trying to find like cool, like I like honesty in it. So some of my friends be like, they've tried to find a mix, it's just not for them. And I'll be like, cool. I'll see a comment, listen, this is the best rum I've ever tasted in my life. I don't drink rum, but this is gonna be the drink that I always buy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I converted my dad. My dad is an old school Jamaican, and I've converted him to your rum. He loves your rum. Do you know what I mean? And at that moment, for a short period of time, these comments feel great, but it's just like, cool. I know that this rum is for these guys, and if you don't like it, I'm gonna maybe help you with a couple mixes, but ultimately you can't make everybody like one product. I mean, like ultimately, simple as that. And that's just my thing. It's just trying to make the best mixes or trying to do the best job possible for the people that generally fuck with us.
I hear that still.
No, that's great.
What has been some of your obstacles starting the business? Actually, no, that's a bad question. What has been some of your obstacles actually running the business now today?
Okay, one of the biggest obstacles I'd say is, so currently we don't have our own warehouse. So we outsource our warehouse, so meaning our bottles are stored in a particular place in a warehouse. So I have to go online, I have to tell this person to go get the bottles, and then I have to, when they get the bottles, I have to tell them to label it with everybody's address. And then when they do that, I then have to go to DPD and then tell DPD to pick up your order, to drop your order for whatever day. Do you know what I mean? For me, that whole process just needs fixing. So, i.e., we need our own warehouse, because for the fact that we don't have our own warehouse means that we're running on somebody else's time. So if somebody doesn't, get the bottles this day, and they want to wait 3 days to do it, the customer just thinks I'm taking a piss. But I'm not. Do you know what I mean? We will try to, email them, tell them like, yeah, this was happening, whatever. But I'm generally not taking a piss. I've generally put your order in for these people to come and, especially during COVID now, because they're running with a skeleton team. I've generally put your order in for them to take my bottles that I own. I've told them to get them at this particular date. They've come to me 3 days later. I've now told DPD to pick those bottles up the next day. The DPD driver doesn't know where to go and doesn't call, and then doesn't turn up, and then picks them up the other day. So do you know what I mean? There's too many moving parts in that little bit, in that little section in regards to the supply chain there. So for me, my biggest obstacle has been that, and that's one thing that, God's grace, by the end of this year, we're going to fix. Whether that be we have our own warehouse, and then we keep some bottles there, and do some deliveries ourselves. But one of the big things we're going to do is we're going to try to do next day delivery for people and just make it that's patterns.
People
so
don't really
right
think
now
about
you're dealing with a logistics company, so and that's the one thing that's probably put you in a situation that helps you but should be better.
100%.
You already know how UK companies, distribution companies are coming, man. Some of them are terrible.
100%. Like, don't get me wrong, they do an amazing job sometimes, and I'm very thankful for helping us out. But I'm super frustrated at the same time with some of the customer service. But again, during COVID, there's only so much you can say, because you just seem like you have to empathize, innit? So it's like whatever. But even like prior to COVID, there's just some fuck ups, and it just is what it is. I think like as a new business, we've been currently running for just under 7 months. As a new business, there's always going to be teething problems. Like I would say 95% of our customers are happy in regards to delivery times and whatever. And there's a 5% that probably are just pissed off. They probably will never order from us again because it's been too slow and whatever. And I totally understand, because I'm still a customer. So when I go on Amazon and I do an Amazon Prime for May the fucking 23rd, and it arrives on June the 5th, I'm going to be pissed as well.
Vexed,
I'm vexed as well. So again, I totally understand and I empathize with them. But for us, it's just like, we're not taking a piss. We're doing all the things possible for you to get your order in time. But again, we deal with, other people. So
that's you know what, when you look at it in totality, it's still a good place to be in. It's a good problem to have, if that makes sense. Everything else is kind of patterned from what I can see, and you're doing so well as far as with the social media, as far as getting bottles to certain people, being on certain platforms. So it's just about ironing out the little issues, and you'll be high flying, because what I think is what you're doing is literally incredible, man. Because obviously logistics happen, man. Me and Demi got screwed over recently for random stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I got my girlfriend a pair of shoes, and bro, I'm not seeing it. Do you know what I'm saying? I already accepted during COVID, I'm not gonna see it. So once that gets patterned, you'll be fine. Oh, bro, if I see another DHL van go past my yard, I swear down, bro. I'll chase it down my
Hermes already know what time it is, man. How you take nearly over 2 weeks to send earrings? Like, what?
Bro, it happens, man. COVID, isn't it? It happens.
I don't know if it... I guess you can blame COVID, but it's just unprofessional. Especially more so because I paid for next day delivery in my situation anyway. So Hermes are normally patterned with that. So that's why I was so disappointed. Because if that's the case, I wouldn't have paid the extra. I could have just let it come in the 5 or 6 days that you normally try and get it here for, but it's all right.
Yeah, it's cool though. We see the flip side of it, because Sebby, you're dealing with that, so it's interesting to see what it's like from that perspective. But regardless of that, the rum, in my opinion, is doing well. It tastes really good.
Thank you.
And you should be proud of yourself, bro, because seeing the journey, like seeing it as like a onlooker, just the beginning of it, when you're going on podcasts talking about it, 90s babies off the cuff, and just saying, oh, God willing, end of this year, and now being where you are now, you should be proud of yourself. So
man, for me, it's just more so, it's like, I think because I'm currently in it, like I don't look at it from like an overview type of aspect. So like, obviously yesterday it's probably one of the first times in a long time where I kind of thought, oh shit, like what I'm doing is actually quite cool. Like it is quite surreal to be in it. So for me, I feel like it feels better for other people than it feels for me. Because like one thing I've learned is if I'm too emotionally attached to a certain aspect of the business, you can only go like two ways. You can only go super high and super low. So for me, I always try to keep in the middle, regardless if it's good news, if I'm doing well, if I'm doing bad. Do you know what I mean? I always try to maintain a level head and just, take every day as it is, because again, like, fam, like, some days I've had like super, super bad days, and for like an hour, I can't do nothing I can't do nothing but think about a certain problem.
Yeah.
So eventually I had to learn. Do you know what I mean? Don't get super happy. Don't get super sad. Just keep
Exist
moving,
in
and
the
then
medium.
eventually, maybe in like 2, 3, 4 years, you can probably look back, and when you're making a real impact, on the world, you can probably look back and say, "Shit, all right, cool. You're doing something." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's sick,
No,
bro.
no, you've done amazing. And do you know what I always find interesting is how entrepreneurs or people, like, you're doing so well, but you don't necessarily always find the time to pat yourself on the back. Or I don't know if people tell you when you're doing well, because even back in school, so Eman used to sell stuff all the time, relentlessly. And us man have actually took a moment to pause and be like, yo, Eman's actually doing really well selling these Beats headphones and G-Shock watches, so much so that he actually became known for that. So I think it's important that, you give yourself a pat on the back when the time's right.
Yeah, man,
for
like
sure.
Eman, what's going on? You got to big your chest up. Come on, bro.
Huh? Listen, I'm humble.
I hear that.
I hear that
I'm
still.
humble. I'm humble. What kind of books do you read at the moment? Especially as you're an entrepreneur,
So
because there is a conditioning that an individual has to go to make sure that they're sharp in their craft.
For me, my conditioning comes from like podcasts, and it comes from business podcasts. So for me, like, I listen to a podcast called How I Built This. That's literally probably what's carried me. That gives me like the extra 10%. How I Built This is an amazing podcast because it's like every self-help motivational book, but on a podcast and from that actual founder at that current time. So you basically listen to the founders of their current journey, their ups and downs, what happened, all of these things. Like some of the brands that you love today, maybe Ben and Jerry's, whatever, Five Guys. Like you listen to all of those guys, and you listen to, things that they had to go through and things they've had to deal with and how they navigated certain situations. That's probably been the best tool. But recently, I've been downloading audiobooks, and I listen to Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, which is the owner of Nike. Yeah, the guy who started Nike. Yeah, so that was an amazing audiobook. Like that's probably one of the best things I've ever read. I just recently downloaded Life in Half a Second, or Second Life in a Second. It's interesting. I just started that, and a few other books that I've read that I didn't know, would actually help is, funnily enough, I read Gucci Mane's book. Just interested to see business from a different perspective, because even for me, how I look at certain things is, even if 99% of it is rubbish, if I can take 1%, then I've learned something, innit?
Yeah.
And then I've also listened to Charlemagne's book, Black Privilege. No, I've actually read that, in fact. Yeah, so Black Privilege, which is actually quite interesting. And it's actually what I'm actually displaying now, to be honest. It's one of those things where being black, starting a business, you're going to get initial support. Yeah. Like, and I'm getting the initial support because, one, because I'm black and it's a black guy that's, started something. But then two, people eventually are liking it, are fucking with it. They love the way how we've done the branding. They love the way that we've done this. But it's a privilege to be black. Do you know what I mean? Black to her ain't literally just going to some white person's rum and then just buying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like black people are actually thinking, oh shit, it's black owned. That gets me through the door. So being black owned gets me through the door, and then having a quality product or whatever we've done on social media is why people continue to fuck with us. So, I could say being black is a privilege currently.
Yeah. Just got to build on that platform.
Yeah, facts.
So that lends quite nicely into what I was going to ask. My next question to everybody, really. So obviously, you guys probably heard the news about the Joe Rogan podcast, and the podcast landscape is. I'm assuming it's going to change from now on, and it's such a big deal. He's got the biggest podcast in the world.
Yeah,
100 million. So, man, then we need
100 or 300.
Well, it's speculation that it's 300 over the course of the duration of the contract,
which is mad.
What do you
What's the
guys
contract?
think? I think it's a couple of years, but it's just licensing, which is very important to note because he still retains all the the IP is still essentially his. So
and also they're launching their video platform as well. So
exactly.
YouTube, but for Spotify.
Which is probably the biggest thing out of that, I reckon, is that because
YouTube fumbled the bag there, man. That's a big L from them because that's where his podcast was thriving the most, and that's where most people tuned in. It's crazy to think that someone's managed to get that much money from podcasting. Like that's insane to me. And
that's motivation, bro.
For real. And what's most interesting is also, I think Joe Budden, they're up for a re-up as well. I saw that. So that it does make it interesting because these brands, after how many years of working now, I think, that the Joe Rogan podcast is however many years, but you can see the work that he's put in to get to this point.
Facts.
So it makes sense that he's getting this opportunity now. I just think YouTube must be kicking themselves.
No, I think ever since YouTube changed the algorithms for monetization, it hits a lot of people because there was a time where people pretty much you could put up one video and you get paid for that video, and then it got to a point where people were just putting 10-second videos and they'll still get paid. But then now YouTube has changed the whole entire algorithm where you have to consistently put out videos. If not, then in terms of your viewership, in terms of them putting out your videos to other viewers, likely viewers. So when you take it and then you have someone who's just looking at Joe Rogan, Spotify, you have all your videos, you have everything there. It's amazing. And then more importantly, I think a lot of advertisers are going to remove themselves from the Joe Rogan show and then put themselves onto YouTube. And I think that's where they're going to make more money. So it depends on how the payout is. If the payout in Spotify is a lot more, then I think people are just going to say dead YouTube and just go straight onto Spotify.
I think it was Apple. It was Apple he was with initially. I believe his podcast was on Apple, and Spotify have stolen the market share essentially by getting.
What happened to Apple Podcasts? I don't understand how they fumbled like this as well. Then there's them as well.
Apple, I think Apple are kind of I don't know what they do. I feel like more so they're kind of taking their time, but while they're taking their time, people are making moves. So whether they care about the podcasting space that much is quite interesting to see because again they had a lot of podcasts first. But it just doesn't seem that they've actually tried to be aggressive and get all these podcasts. But one reason why I say one reason I heard that Joe Rogan is leaving YouTube in regards to putting up his content there is because of censorship issues, i.e. taking down not certain people not being allowed to be on YouTube and stuff like that.
I see.
Yeah, so things like that in regards to censorship, I just don't think he fucks with that. And I respect Joe Rogan because he interviews everybody. He himself has his own views, but he interviews everyone. As in, if you've got something interesting to say or something that a certain section may find interesting, Joe Rogan is straight down the middle. And he's not biased. He will definitely challenge you on certain things that he doesn't agree with, and he will ask for the actual facts. He will ask for the receipts of whatever you say. So if you're saying something or whatever, it's so where's the evidence for that? I love that question because it definitely catches a lot of people out. So so the fact that he just don't believe in censorship and he's straight down the middle could be one of the reasons why he's off to Spotify.
Yeah, that's good stuff as well. Especially when it comes to the censorship, because as mad as it may seem, they're not supposed to censor anybody. I mean, of course, if it comes to like racial things or gender discrimination, then yes, it's a bit of an issue. But because of the laws that have been established, things like Google, things like Facebook, they shouldn't really be censoring anybody. But because it's come to that, I mean, you're going to have to do what you're going to have to do. So if you're going to have to go to Spotify, where you might interview David Icke, that conspiracy theorist, or someone like I don't know, that what's the guy's name? Milo.
Oh yeah, that you.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, if you go and interview them on Spotify, everybody can listen to it, and there's no censorship, and everybody can hear a perspective or point of view. Whereas if it's just on YouTube, you have to be very careful on what you do.
Yeah, because they're like the YouTube police, innit? They get rid of stuff when hella quick. The only
Quickly.
issue because obviously I think it's a good thing in general. Don't get me wrong. I think it motivates everybody to try and realize that the podcasting, media is new media. Do you know what I'm saying? Even in the UK with Free Shots and everybody like that. But my caveat is just playing devil's advocate is the exclusivity of it. So moving forward, are we going to see more podcasts where they're going to be on like different apps? Because I'm not going to lie, I'm a lazy guy in it. I like the fact that the Joe Budden podcast is on Spotify. I like the fact that Touchline Fracas is on Spotify. I like the fact that I can listen to everything in one place. Is it going to get to a point where Apple like, yep, we're going to store this podcast, and then SoundCloud store this one?
Like
we've been
streaming wars
getting to a
again.
place like that. Yeah.
Like the streaming wars that happened with Drake when he put out like Views, and Frank Ocean when he did that album. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, is that going to happen again, but in a podcast?
Probably.
It's a possibility, but it's one of those ones. It's like, cool. Spotify have all of my current favorite podcasts. They're all on Spotify. Yeah, other than the How I Built This Business podcast that I told you about, that's on the Apple Podcast app. But they have all of my podcasts, and for me, I just like, fam, if Spotify clearly believe in a podcast space, number one, because they've invested heavily in it, and they've also bought out podcast companies, so they believe in this. So for me, I'm just like, fam, the most aggressive person wins, innit? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
The winner take all, fam. So if it happens, if it's the fact that Apple gets this one and that person gets this one or whatever, so be it. But for me, I'm definitely happy with the direction and the kind of forward thinking of Spotify and what they've done. Like, but yeah, man, so be it, bruv. Like, I think it's kind of like it's business every day. Everybody's competing for market share, regardless of what type of industry you're in. There's always some type of war where you may go to I don't know, let's say fucking a sports shop or whatever, and one sports brand might say, cool, I'm going to give you 20% cheaper clothes if you don't have this sports brand in your shop. People are going to take it. Do you know what I mean? It just is what it is. If you're trying to take the market share, then you're trying to take the market share. You're going to do whatever you need to do that.
I don't think it should come as too much of a surprise, because we've seen, not even just in streaming, but Netflix, Disney Plus. There's so many choices now on what you can watch. So I think it could end up being like that. And with the medium growing more and more, it doesn't surprise me that we could be looking at a place where this is on Apple Podcasts, this is on Spotify. Like that becoming a reality doesn't surprise me, especially because it's becoming such a powerful and it's becoming the norm. So everyone's going to want to try and have a piece of the pie.
Yeah, exactly. It's just risky because, when it happened in the music industry, top execs like the Universal Music's CEO was like, nah, dead that. That's not happening no more. He told artists, all this exclusivity, dead. But in the podcasting world, there's no real big entities like that. It's essentially the streaming, companies. So it'll be interesting to see how it develops. But like you said, Sebby, it's shark eat shark. You know what I'm saying? If a company has to take one, then it has to take one. So
I don't think it will hamper how people listen to it as well too much, because we have multiple streaming platforms where we watch stuff and listen to stuff. So I think it just become, as it is nicer when everything's in one place, but we we do all right even still when stuff is all over the place. I'm watching something on Disney Plus or watching it on Netflix, so it won't be the end of the world, I don't think.
And also a plus side to it, yeah, is that Spotify to listen to the podcast is free. Podcast app on Apple is free. Do you know what I mean? SoundCloud to listen to it is free. So I don't really feel like, again, as you said, it's going to be some type of hindrance or whatever. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So those are all free apps. It's the only issue will be when you can only listen to a podcast when you pay. That's what I think will destroy the market, to be honest.
Yeah.
When that happens. But I feel like companies have definitely worked that out, that it's not possible to do that. So I feel like, and then the companies that did do that, so the smaller companies, well, the smaller, i.e., like in regards to just market cap or whatever, like say like Gimlet and whatever, they got bought out. I'm trying to say, So, yeah, man.
For sure. I just hope the Joe Budden podcast doesn't go for Spotify, bro.
Oh, definitely not, man. I want him to get it back.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. And Joe's not, you know what Joe's like when it comes to the money or artists being represented. He's all for it. So
yeah, but that's why I'm worried though. He moves mad sometimes though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
but I don't think. Do you think he would ruin the deal? That deal's going to be bad.
I think Joe would ruin the deal. I think like if he didn't get the number he wanted, I feel like it's possible he could ruin the deal. But I don't think Rory and Moore, I don't think they could do with that. I don't think that could happen again. Like, you know, if this was their first, actually, because they already argued on their first deal. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So they argued on their first deal of like who to go with, and then eventually a bigger deal from Spotify came, and they went with Spotify. So, but I feel like now, if like it's in the millions, which it should be, but like them man are not gonna allow Joe to turn that down.
Especially because they were the number one podcast of last year.
Facts.
Yeah. So that bag's gonna be sweet. It can't not be. But
I hope so, man.
Joe can self-explode, but I don't think when there's other people's families on the line, I don't think he can afford to do that this time around anyway.
Yeah, I hope
no, he'll make the smart decision. That's what I can say.
Yeah. He's a very intelligent man, definitely, from how he's flipped his career. It'd just be interesting to see how that plays out, because you know how he's going to be.
100%, bro. As long as it's about, I need that toxic masculinity, bro. Every time I don't listen to that podcast, or if I chill with my girl for too long, I feel different. I'm like, nah, I need to listen to this podcast to restore the balance.
Replenish them powers.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Nah, the man I see funny.
Yeah, nah, really, really good podcast. But moving forward, I want to talk about the documentary that everyone's banging on about right now, The Last Dance.
Come on.
Phenomenal. So have you guys all seen the last 3 episodes?
Yeah, I have.
I'll finish it.
That Michael Jordan guy, he's the GOAT, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. He's
before unreal. There was a GOAT, there was Michael Jordan. You are the Michael Jordan of this. All of that.
Yeah, bro. It's true.
So Michael Jordan is the Michael Jordan of Michael Jordan, bro.
Bro, real. That documentary
is elite,
bro. It's Go on, Demi.
It's the little things about him, the subtle things, like good game, champ. All right, so I took it personally. Like how?
Yeah,
bro.
What's wrong with you? Like to the point, like I'm like sometimes thinking, it's kind of mental how you can do that, like, and switch it on as well, and then come back and then drop 60 points. You know how you went to Larry Bird and said, "I got something for your boy," and then he came and dropped 60 points on him. That's insane.
He's a psychopath,
to switch it on.
He's definitely a psychopath. That's all it confirmed to me. But it's like he's a good functioning one. So he uses his talents and his mentality to just be great. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think it's really interesting. It's a good insight. You know how when he says, I've got to kill this man. Like, I can't remember who he's referring to, but he was like, I've got to kill him. Like, in his mind, he has to, but he's not going to do it, like, physically. He's going to do it on the court. Like, he's going to make sure you know he's there. Too elite. And I don't know how you can come away from that not wanting to be Dennis Rodman, man. That guy's too goated. NBA Finals, went to WCW, won the finals, and then got a picture with Carmen Electra. I don't want to hear it, man. Dennis Rodman jersey in the mail.
Well, it's on the way.
On the way. I need that back.
He's a legend. One thing I say about Rodman is he wasn't afraid to be himself, man. That's important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially in that current time, not being afraid to be yourself is definitely something that I have to respect. Like, and for me, I just I definitely respect him tenfold just for the fact that even throughout his craziness, i.e. what you mentioned with the WWE, but going Vegas and stuff like that, like going Vegas and missing 48 hours, like
wow,
things like that's himself. But he knew I can do that, and I can come back and still perform. Certain man just be misbehaving, come back and be shit. Do you know what I mean? Like. That's why really and truly people get pissed, because if you're fucking up something, or let me put it in simple terms, if me and you are working on a project for fucking uni and you're not fucking concentrating, and then you come back and your work is shit, I'm pissed. I'm fucking pissed because, fam, you had the time to study with me. We had the time to work with me, and you've come and produced this rubbish, and we both look bad. But if you're fucking about, you come back and your work is elite, fam, there's no issue, man.
There's nothing to be said, isn't it?
No, next time when you want to go and do it, cool. Yeah, man, we've got to hand this in that, whatever. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I'll be calm. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's just more so that the fact that he was able to mess about or do whatever he was doing and still come back and perform. Yeah, man, I can't really say nothing about
That's
the man.
what it
Definitely
was, man.
another level.
They don't make people like that, or there's no professional that I can think at the moment. They either have the talent and they can't, and they don't necessarily back it up, or they're just rough for being rough's sake, like a Joe Barton or something. Like, you're not that good to make up for it, or you know, you look at how talented Pogba is, and someone said, is there anyone in football similar to Rodman? I think Pogba could be the closest in terms of how talented he is, and dyes his hair and does all the dancing. But it's the fact that something like Rodman hasn't come around in a while tells you everything you need to know. Like, that's what I love. My
man was smashing chairs on the back of wrestlers, bruv.
He lived a dream, bruv. He lived a dream. I definitely wanted to do that when I was younger, bruv. He lived a dream. He was a sports star, and then also was a wrestler for one day. Do you know what I mean? So Rodman definitely lived the dream, man. And it's one of those ones where I'm not too sure, and I don't want to speak for him, but I'm sure he will have minimal regrets, because he looked definitely. He looked like he lived his life how he really wanted to live his life. Just massive respect to him, man.
For sure.
But more
man said,
go on.
I was just gonna say, my man said 48 hours. I need a holiday, and he had the jet ready to go straight away. Like, that's elite. And then the fact that Jordan and them had to come find him was insane.
It's mad, bro. That's the best thing about that documentary, though. That the fact that they didn't just home in on Jordan. They gave everybody else some kind of, some shine. Do you know what I mean?
It made you appreciate how much that 90s team was. It was a team, even like find out about Steve Kerr and his life, and like how much he contributed.
He done a madness, bro.
I love the fact that he stood up to Michael and was like, "Yo, you can't. If you do something, if you hit me, I'm gonna punch you back. Like, it's not sweet."
It's true, man.
The thing about like the whole documentary is that, I mean, most of the stuff I already knew, just because I played basketball. I'm a massive fan of Michael Jordan, so I knew about Dennis Rodman. I knew about Scottie Pippen, Steve Kerr. I know about him getting punched in the face. I knew about the story of. I knew of a story. But I didn't know the story of Michael Jordan
the
training while he was in Space Jam.
Shoot for
Space Jam. I didn't know about that. I knew about the story because Magic Johnson did mention, like,
that's crazy still.
Yeah, the fact that they were training with him, and it was like, listen, we shouldn't have trained with him, X, Y, and Z. And then also I know about the Olympics, the Olympic team.
Bless up the Q coach.
When they pissed him off.
They tried to put him in a spliff.
They put him in a spliff, bro.
Yeah, they definitely put him in the spliff still.
100%.
Peacock got put in the spliff.
I didn't know the story about Michael Jordan and Reebok though. Like that's a level of pettiness. It's a high level of pettiness. Like, listen.
But the thing is, I respect it though. I respect it because I'm petty like that as well. Like for example, if you ever tag our business Instagram with another bottle in the picture, I won't repost it.
Simples,
I won't repost it because
I respect the hustle.
Yeah,
man.
it's just one of those ones where they don't do it. Like if you tag Captain Morgan, one, they're not even reposting anyway. But two, if they did repost it, if there was another brand in it, like another alcohol brand, they're not doing it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like they're not doing it. So if I rock with this and this is my thing, then I ain't showing it to the world. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, facts.
I'm not doing it because, do you know what I mean? I'm rocking with this and they wouldn't do it for me. So yeah.
How did everyone feel about?
Go on.
I was just gonna say, how did everyone feel about Pippen? Because I left kind of feeling like he might be the best number 2 ever, but I left feeling he could have been better, if that makes sense.
I feel a bit conflicted. I feel like he kind of did his job. I feel like it was the money. It was the money, man.
Yeah.
Because when he deeped how much he was getting, it rattled him, and he just decided, nah, you know what, fuck it. Unless you guys pay me my peas, I'm not coming out. But I understand that. Go on.
Because I just feel like I just felt like, do you know that killer instinct that Jordan has? He just didn't seem to have it. And
but nobody has that though. Do you know what I'm saying? Nobody has that.
Pippen was so talented that it kind of makes you feel, raw. Maybe if he just had that little something to get you over the line, because he got them to the Eastern Conference Finals, which they lost. That's when that mindset is crazy as well.
When he didn't want to do the play,
he sat out. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's true. I feel like, and he's pissed about it. I read an article earlier today was saying that he's vexed because obviously he took part in it as well, and he's thinking, all the footage is going to be sweet. So he's watching that at home thinking, right, I've been done dirty here. So,
but I don't see what he'd be that upset by.
Yeah, I think it showed Pippen in a positive light. Like I left the documentary being a fan of Pippen. Again, there's things that I know, there's things that I've heard, and obviously I know some basketballers from that era or whatever. But in regards to being an actual fan, I left being a fan of his, thinking, fine, like if I want to buy a basketball jersey, I'm gonna get MJ, I'm gonna get Pippen. Do you know what I mean? Facts, like I even get Rodman or whatever. But again, I don't know what he would be annoyed about. That's between him and MJ. I'm sure there's probably some bits that he thought that was going to be in there, and some other bits to make him look better and whatnot. But for me, I left being a fan. I don't see the negative. I didn't, even when he wanted more peas, I was on his side.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not playing. I'm doing the surgery now. I'm not gonna miss out. I ain't playing. Give me my peas. Give me my peas, or I'm not playing. Like, so I was even on his side then. So man. For me, I'm not too sure what he'll be angry about, but I'm sure there is something that we just don't know.
It's the Bulls GM that needs to get a punch in the face, man.
I think he's dead, R.I.P.
Oh, rest in peace.
R.I.P. then.
Another thing I found out about the documentary. The band. I'm a sneakerhead, innit? I like shoes, and pretty much I didn't know the real reason for why the shoe was banned. Like
the banned ones.
Yeah, so pretty much they banned the shoe because of the color, and I was like, okay, it's just the color. But I didn't know they had a strict. You
can only wear Converses?
No, it's not that you can only wear Converses. It's that one, your teammates have to wear the same shoes. Two, they have to be white. All the shoes have to be white. So for him to go against the grain and then wear something like the Airship, black and red ones first, and then go into the Air Jordan 1, it was like, oh, that's something different. And then Nike obviously took that, capitalized it, and flipped it, and they said, no, listen, they banned the shoe because the shoes has technology on it and it's upgraded. So, I mean, they definitely won on that.
What do you guys think about when he was, so the Jordans were obviously selling bears, and they asked him, I think, about Republicans and his political stance, and obviously his stance was Republicans buy Jordans too. And like, you know, from a business perspective, where do we draw the line? Because I was watching again something else, The Wire, and there was like a white politician who was running for mayor, and in a black neighborhood. So obviously there's bare black people there. He's trying to get on their side. And then there was this one old white politician who comes up to him and is like, yeah, like, I appreciate you running for it, blah, blah, blah. I hope you get the money back for the whites because, you know, the black people are taking all the peas and mashing it. So hopefully you win. And the guy's like, oh shit, like, do I even want this guy's vote? So where do you draw the line of morality when it comes to that type of shit?
I think for me, or watching that, I think for me it was more, I don't think I can expect everyone to be an activist. I don't think the comment weren't great from his end, but I don't think, he grew up in North Carolina, which is a heavily racial area. So he knows the importance of it. He's not blind to it. I just don't think, it's possible he's not that political. And it was just an off-the-cuff comment. He didn't really think, you know, how much it'll impact him or how people would view him. There's some people in this life, I'm not looking to them for their political stance. You know, just make the music I like, or just, we don't ever, Drake could do more in terms of that.
Demi, are you saying shut up and dribble? Is that what you're saying, bro?
Probably, yeah. Yes. For some people, for some people that is the case. I think it has to be.
I think, I don't know, like, I understand his response, and I feel like, yeah, like you said, it's probably less onus back then, even being in that kind of position to, you know, say your political stance, because nowadays everybody kind of wears it on their sleeve. So
yeah,
but, you know, from a business perspective, it kind of makes sense. Like, I'm not going to put my business on the line because of my political stance. At the end of the day, if they support it, they support it. Like, you got to draw the line between the two. So you know, it was an interesting comment like that they chucked in there. Like,
also flu game, I know a hangover when I see one. Bear luck next time.
What, he got fresh? Yeah.
He just got lit. That's all that happened.
He was under La Solas, bro. We were just getting lit.
For real.
I think with the flu games, when you're just ill, you don't want to do nothing. And I think with the mentality that he has, it's like his do or die. It's like, you know what? At the end of the day, I know I'm gonna go bed, but I might as well just try my best. And for an individual like that to say something, like, to have that sort of mentality, I mean, yeah, I see why they called him like Basketball Jesus or something like that. Like, I see why.
Reggie
They
Miller.
call him Black Jesus or something.
Yeah, Black Jesus.
Like
yeah.
Yeah.
Mad guy, bro.
You can't. That's crazy, man.
Man blamed it on pizza, bro.
He was hungover, man. Because if you had food poisoning, I don't know. I don't think you could play. And I know his mentality, but I just think he was fighting for a hangover.
You never know with him. It's essentially, at the end of the day, it's propaganda, bro. He puts everything he wants in that documentary. So
true.
Only he knows the answer.
It still did a good job of not necessarily making him the good guy, though, because there's several times he came off as a dick.
That's why I liked about it, and that's why I'm confused with Pippin, because I feel like, yeah, it's a MJ documentary, so the conclusion of the documentary will be MJ is the hero. The whole story, the narrative will be MJ is the hero. However, there's aspects in there that make people walk away from the documentary think he wasn't really a nice guy. Do you know what I mean? Which could definitely impact that. So for me, he's put stuff like that in there. Like, so, yeah, that's why I just don't really get what Pippin possibly could be angry about when there's both sides of everybody's character displayed on a documentary.
Yeah, facts. You know, Rodman's out there just minding his business, not even giving a fuck.
Rodman might not even have watched it.
Exactly.
Do you think he would rather be viewed as a nice person? Because he did get a bit upset when they asked him about that. Do you think I don't want to say has regrets, because he's got 6 championships, but do you think if he could have been a nicer person and done what
I think it's the same thing I said about Kobe Bryant. It's the same thing. It's the same thing I said about Kobe Bryant. I think there's, if you want something, you're gonna go get it. And I mean, it's very much like an entrepreneur. If you're an entrepreneur, you have that person where it's like you have to do something to go and get it. Now, you're working in a team. You have to make sure that that person in your team is pulling their weight to make sure that you are successful as well.
Yeah.
If they're not gonna pull their weight, if you're pushing, if you're trying your best to do 10 miles and this guy's only doing 1, you're going to try and make sure that they're doing 10 miles too. So it comes to it, it's like, okay, cool. As I said, the same thing about Kobe Bryant, they weren't mean. They weren't mean to the other players. It's like, listen, you're not going to get on my level. And it's a psychosis. It's a killer psychosis. It's like, listen, we all have to be top. We all have to be our best. If you guys keep messing around, you're nothing to me. So I think, yeah, he cried about it, but it was like, listen, I want to be successful. I had to make sure that everybody was in tip-top shape, or that everybody wanted it the same way I wanted it. If that wasn't the case, then we wouldn't be successful. Michael Jordan would not be Michael Jordan today. We might be even talking about Isaiah Thomas rather than Michael Jordan.
Mad.
Because of the levels that the Pistons took just to make sure that Chicago Bulls were successful.
They were fighting the Pistons, man. Doing RKOs at the 3-point.
They're just getting fist up, bro. Every time going for a dunk, you're just getting fist up.
The next year, the whole team got hench. The whole team got hench and said, "No, we're not doing this." And then boom, they won. And then my man was dipping his head as he was walking away.
But
that was disgusting as well when they didn't shake their hand.
Oh yeah. But would you guys, as a question, would you? So as far as, being that kind of way, the way Jordan's mentality was, would you obviously win the 6 rings being Jordan, obviously be going down as a GOAT and being viewed at, with a skewed public perception? Or would you rather be a LeBron who, people's perception of him is as being a nice guy and still having 3 rings? Like, what would you rather be seen as?
I think...
You say Jordan,
tough.
yeah?
Jordan. Because the thing is, Michael Jordan was perceived to the public as a nice guy. With the Gatorade that Nike had. He was perceived as a nice individual. It's just that the difference with today's era in basketball, I had a conversation with my brother. It's 2 completely different leagues. I mean, back then, you saw what the Pistons did, right? Them man were pushing, shoving, punching, dirty moves. Today, you try and do that, it's like, nah, fam.
That's
what
a
technical violation?
Flagrant.
Yeah, and then and even worse as well, people are getting paid stupid amounts. Congratulations to them, but they're getting paid stupid amounts. So it's like their man are playing, like they'll get to the job and then that's it. They'll just coast until they retire. That's it. They get a retirement check and then done, like everybody else. Whereas Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, I can list a number of greats. They all tried their very best to be the absolute best. Now, in this league where LeBron James is at, do you really want to be a nasty guy? I mean, everyone there is soft.
Yeah.
When you really deep it, it's 2 different leagues. I mean, this one's soft. If Michael Jordan was to come time traveling back from the time he won the 4th championship, bruv, he'll come and finish everybody and won't give a damn. Even his stats, they show even though Steph Curry is a great scorer, X, Y, and Z, they don't compete with Michael Jordan. And all these guys currently today in the NBA right now are just shooting threes. They don't go to the basket. None of them go to the basket.
The game is changing.
Whereas Michael Jordan's majority numbers is at the basket. So there's a complete difference. So if I was to pick who would I be, Michael Jordan. Even if I have to be nasty to everybody, it's Michael Jordan.
I think Jordan was a product of what was going on currently, because you couldn't be Steve Kerr and be the leader of the team and win 6 rings. You've got people like Isaiah Thomas coming to smash your head in. So I gotta be as aggressive as these people. And then you got to think about those times where, in those times, nothing. So there was no such thing as political correctness. Everybody was just aggressive. Everybody, especially in regards to like basketball and the sports stars, everybody's aggressive. Everybody's like, do you know what I mean? As people said before, everybody's like fighting on a court and stuff like that. So I feel like Jordan was just a product of what he's seen and what he felt like he had to be better than him. I had to be nastier than you, yeah, to win. So I have to win the competition mentally first, and then my talent will also make me win on the pitch, on the court. So for me, like I kind of understand it. It's difficult because I absolutely love what LeBron's done in regards to his friends and how he set them up, and do you know what I mean? What they're doing in the sport, what they're doing in media, things like that. So I don't know. I don't think I could pick, because I'm in a business where it's currently it's nice to, it's good to be liked, like it's good for people to like you and whatever. But then if people work, for example, people may work with me and may not like me because I'm making harsh decisions, but I'm making harsh decisions for the betterment of the company. So I don't know, man. It's a difficult one, and also one. Yeah, it's a tough one, man. For me, I don't know. I can't really answer that.
So I think you'd also have to.
Go on, Demi. I'll ask you a question afterwards.
I think in terms of LeBron or Jordan, I think you'd have to wait and see, because we don't know how LeBron's career ends. If he ends with another 3 rings, he's been a nice guy and he's got the same amount of rings as Jordan. So maybe you didn't have to be an arsehole to get it done. It'd just be interesting to see where LeBron's career ends.
Fair enough.
I think the question I was going to ask, rather than this is to you, Sebby. Rather than Jordan and LeBron, would you be Jay-Z or Dame Dash?
I'd rather be Hov. I'd rather be Hov, because I feel like the reason why I'd rather be Hov, because he's just like, alright, cool. I'm like a fan of many people, and because I respect greatness, innit? So because I respect greatness, I'm a fan of so many people. Like whether whether you're famous or whether you're not, like I'm not like shy to tell people I'm a fan. But when it comes to like Hov and everything he's done, everything he's doing, whether it be like his activism, whether it be the fucking Duce or Ace of Spades, or what he's doing in music, how he's rebranded Rock Nation, just like how he structures all of these deals, all of these things, yeah, fam, he's probably like the only person in the world I'd ask for a picture with. Like, I'm such a fan of Jay-Z, yeah, it's unreal, do you know what I mean? And the thing is, in regards to like his music, I wasn't a fan of his music until my later years, like maybe in the last 4 or 5 years. Like, obviously I loved the singles and I loved whatever and stuff like that. But in terms of actually being a real fan, it's only been my later years where I've started to take it in. I feel like more because he's kind of speaking the same things that I want to hear. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So for me, yeah, I'd definitely rather be Hov. However, I respect that Dame Dash, but I just feel like he was all delivery. His delivery was rubbish, and then he didn't back it up. So it's not a thing where it's like LeBron and MJ, because at least LeBron has 3 rings. Dash, yeah, created something amazing, saw talent in certain people, but in a grand scheme of things, in 10 years, people may not remember him.
I heard that.
Right, okay. Cool.
Because at the end of the day, it's about your legacy, innit? And Dave Dash's legacy is looking a bit higgy right now.
Very tarnished.
But yeah, that's actually a good question, Eman, because obviously they're both from the same ilk. But you know, people will rather be Hov every day of the week. Sebby, you wouldn't get a picture of Drake? No.
I wouldn't ask him. I wouldn't ask him, even though I'm a super fan. I wouldn't ask him.
Is he your competitor? That's why.
The only reason why I wouldn't like get a picture with Drake, yeah, is because, in fact, no, so like 30% of what I say online is a troll. Do you know what I mean? Like, I play up to the fact that people say I'm a Drake fan. So like, I'll do something and then change my picture to Drake, and people are like, oh, Drake fans do this. I'm just like literally trolling, so whatever. But I don't know, like for me, I just feel like I don't know, bruv. Like, I don't think I'd ask anybody for a picture but Jay-Z.
I heard that, man.
Yeah, bruv. But Jay-Z, like, I just don't. Maybe MJ now after this documentary.
100%. Although the likelihood he'll say no is mightily high.
No,
So, it's one of them ones.
MJ is a character, man. I swear.
Bro, you don't get them like him anymore, man, for sure.
Honestly.
For sure.
Well, there was one player, but he died. So, R.I.P. to him.
Oh, of course. Rest in peace, Kobe, man. Can't forget the legend himself.
I wasn't talking about Kobe, but yeah, R.I.P. to Kobe too. But yeah.
Oh, who are you on about?
It's a European player. I've forgotten his name. It's not Kukoc. It's someone else. Absolutely forgot his name. But he was the only individual who actually
had the same.
When he came to actually fighting
style
with Jordan, man was toe to toe with Jordan.
I could watch another 10 episodes of that documentary, bro. Honestly,
yeah. Give me a season 2.
Especially when you know especially when you know the history, you're still like on the edge of your seat, like watching.
100%.
You know, like my man won 6 rings, but you still want to know what happens next.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Last topic. We'll make it a quick one, just to end on on a happy note. Obviously, stuff is beginning to change slightly. Lockdown is changing, easing. The spread isn't too bad. Just want to talk about holidays, man. Where are you guys thinking to go once this is all done?
Southend, mate. Southend. That's where it's happening, mate.
You're gonna go join the people on the beach?
It looks like I will be, bro. So.
Man said Southend,
I don't know. What did you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say I want to go Cuba, and then I also want to go. I want to go somewhere I haven't been, I haven't been Cuba, but yeah, Cuba, and maybe like LA are 2 places that are on my list to go.
Good choices. I think anything to just get away from the 4 walls that you've been staring at, that I've been staring at recently. If I can do that, that would be great to do. Just to change. I think the most important thing is to change the scenery as soon as we can, any way we can.
Yeah, man. Because it's motivational, it's inspiring. You go away and you come back with ideas for shit. And even just looking around and just taking in the history, something that's mad underrated. Do you know what I'm saying?
I need to go back home. I need to go back to Tanzania. Just look about again. I mean, I may be going at the end of the year because it's someone's birthday. Sorry, not birthday. It's my birthday, but at the same time, it's someone's wedding. So I may be going at that time, but I do want to go somewhere else. I just haven't thought about it.
I want to go Jamaica, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Jamaica's sick.
Yeah,
Jamaica's sick. I went last year. Probably the best holiday I've ever been on.
Swear.
I went for a wedding. So there's like a bunch of us. And then obviously all the guys were doing things together. Yeah, it was so sick, man.
Yeah, no, I really want to go for sure. That's like literally top of my list. The thing is, my girl wants to go on like a relaxing thing, but I think if I go there, I can't sit in one place for more than a couple of days. So I'd have to divvy it up. Do you know what I'm saying? I'd have to go and do other stuff.
Don't do no relaxing thing. It's a trap.
Swear.
It's a trap, man. Relaxing holidays are a trap, bro. Trust me. Us men are not meant to go on relaxing holidays. Don't let her trick you. You know how fucking boring they are, bruv. Like, after you've taken in the scenery, how many times can you look at the same scenery, bruv? Like,
it's only 10 minutes and then that's it.
Yeah, once I've taken it in the scenery for an hour, that's me done. Do you know what I mean? Make sure you go somewhere where you can do things, bruv. Trust me.
I hear you.
You go and you're just sitting on the beach, you're gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
Do you know what? And she will be pissed because what you will do is you'll be on your phone, and then she'll be pissed that you're
on your phone. And then
she'll be pissed that you're on your phone, and you're only on your phone because we're relaxing on a stupid beach. You know what I mean? So yeah, bro.
You're preaching right now.
I heard that.
If there is ever a place that you do want to go and relax, go Zanzibar.
Zanzibar, yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of food there. There's plenty of white sand beach, clear coast. Like you enjoy yourself.
I heard Zanzibar sick still.
Yeah. I don't know if they have clubs though, because it's pretty much like a Islamic. Well, it's majority Islamic state. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Demi are trying to work on Ibiza anyway for next year. Hopefully our girlfriends don't kill us by then, but we'll see.
Have to make it happen.
Nah, I'm joking. Probably not, but it was just, the thought of that is funny still. Just trying to tell her if that's gonna be the case. You know what I mean? But,
It's trying to tell her where you're going. I'm going to Ibiza for 10 days.
boy,
10 days is too much, bro. Nah, forget it, man.
Is it?
You could do that when you're 18.
Yeah,
but when
fair enough.
Finished.
When I was 21, 7 days was too much. And then I deeped it like, nah, 10 days. What are you going to do for 10 days? You can only do it for 4 days. After 4 days, you spend.
I was just about to say that. 4 dating and come home, bro. Trust me. 10 days.
Okay.
10 days of paying for £20 water, number one. 10 days of drinking non-stop, mate.
£20 water, you know. That is a madness.
It's
water is more expensive out there.
It's definitely not a 10-day place, man. Definitely don't do that to yourself.
I can't even do the consecutive day thing no more, man. Even like last year for my birthday, my 25th, bruv. You man saw how fresh I was, bruv. I came home, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm retiring from this shit, bruv.
Yeah,
a 4-day thing, you just got to need the strength of the Black Panther for that one, boy.
Real talk.
For real.
Maybe like 5 years ago. Fucking hell. 5 years ago, I went to Vegas, innit? Went for 4 days, partying day and night. Yeah, fucking hell, bro. I couldn't do an extra day. I was finished. I was done for, man.
That's a scary
that
place.
heat is heat is intense out there as well.
Crazy. The heat is mad. It's a madness.
Now, Vegas would be somewhere I'd like to check out, though.
Yeah,
no, definitely. It's 100% worth it. Like, the casinos don't close. You're just in the casino gambling. They come bring you drinks if you're gambling. The fresh air makes sure you don't sleep, so you're just awake. And then like fucking when you come out, it's super hot. Everything's just super weird. You've got like sick restaurants in your hotel. It's just such a weird place. Like you've got sick restaurants in your hotel or sick beach club in your hotel. And I think, Vegas is an absolute vibe, but it's only a vibe for 3 to 4 days. Like even when we was out there with a bunch of friends and stuff like that, 2 people came out just for 2 days, and that was enough for them. Do you know what I mean? They came out for 2 days and went home. Do you know what I mean? Or if you wanted to do Vegas, and if you wanted a long holiday, go Vegas for 3 days and then go LA, which is only maybe a 4-hour drive, but maybe an hour or 2-hour flight. Go Vegas for like 3 or 4. I mean, go LA for like 3 or 4 days, and then you split your holiday up and you've enjoyed, didn't it?
Yeah. That's the best shot when you can split them up. You just enjoy different aspects of it.
Oh, I do want to go Frankfurt though. I've got peoples out there in Frankfurt. I want to see, and then there's Sweden as well, because I've got a family friend out in Sweden. But Frankfurt first.
The Scandinavian
if you're watching
countries.
the shout to you, innit? Huh?
So these Scandinavian countries.
Frankfurt is in Germany, bro. It's not Scandinavian.
What, is Germany not part of Scandinavia?
No, brother.
Nah, bro. Nah, bro.
Oh, fair enough.
Man failed geography still. Nah, definitely divvy up the holidays, man. It's good to go on different types. Like last year was probably my best year for holidays, man. I went to Bali, and then I went to Thailand and Korea with my other boys. So it was just like a nice balance of going to different places. So it would just be nice to go away again.
How's Korea like?
Bro, South Korea is sick, man. Like Seoul is probably one of the most sick cities I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Because just the people there are cool. The transport system is mad. Like it makes TFL look trash, bro.
Yeah.
Like super quick. Wi-Fi underneath the like the rail tracks and shit like that. Like it's just a sick place. And fashion-wise, people are just ahead of the curve, bro.
Oh, they're drippy.
Bro, I felt like
drippy.
I felt like a scumbag out there, bro. I was looking around like, wow, these men are sourcing on me. So
this drip is dripping.
It's a sick place, and Bali is just Bali is just a movie.
Yeah, that's on my list, isn't it?
Bali is a movie. One of my best vacations ever, man. Can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, no, definitely looking to go. Where did you go? Seminyak or whatever you call it?
We spent like 2 days in Seminyak, but we spent most of it in Kuta, where it's a bit more quiet. But Seminyak is busy, but it's dope. Like, it's nice to get about there for sure.
Sick.
But yeah. Anything else, lads? Or I think it's a good podcast, man.
Happy Africa Day, innit? That's all I can say. Happy Africa Day.
Happy Africa Day. Sebby, we appreciate you coming.
She's not running.
Oh boy.
My thick queen. Or can she even be a queen anymore?
I don't even know, man. She's done out. But I mean, that's a whole different conversation, bro.
For real.
Maybe we'll save that one for next time. But Sebby, we appreciate you coming on.
No worries, bro, man. I appreciate you guys for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
No worries, man.
We appreciate you, man.
All the best. Hopefully, when this is all done, maybe we can do one in person, because I feel like we can discuss more stuff and just get into where you're at.
For sure.
All right, bro. Tell them where they can find the rum and your socials and that.
Yeah, man. So the rum is on our website, which is lasolasrumclub.com, LASOLASRUM club.com. Our social media is lasolasuk, but on Instagram is lasolas.uk. But yeah, man, I think if you type in lasolas, you should find us regardless. But yeah, just check us out. Let me know what you feel. We've got our refill packs coming out in a week or two. Which I think is going to be really cool. We've got some mixers in those refill packs. So yeah, we're looking to control the summer.
Lovely stuff.
Perfect. Love that.
Perfect.
All right, bro.
Man.
Cool.
Bless.
Take it easy.